verwalten. Einem Programm. Wir haben die
Alright, testing. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I was listening to shortwave radio right before this, because I'm getting really into shortwave radio stuff again for whatever reason. So I don't know if that actually played on here or not, but if it did, that's a thing. But yeah, I am here. I'm, present, as they say. Going to kind of go ahead and jump right into it. That is the wrong window. Hold on. Okay, there. Now we're gonna jump right into it. But yeah, just kind of to give a quick overview of sort of updates, everything like that. I guess before that, honestly, I've been reading a lot, kind of because this wayland stuff has gotten me back into looking at C again, and it's been a lot of fun if I'm being honest, but I've gotten kind of back, I've gotten back into that, mostly here. I can actually pull it up over here. Alright, let's go to, what do they call it? Oh, lambda C. Oh wait, one moment. My dog wants out of the room. One moment. Okay, yeah, I'm back. Yeah, so I kind of tentatively called it lambda C because I didn't know what else to name it, but really it's just sort of, I'm doing make a lisp and C a little bit. Nothing too fancy. This is just sort of the rebel section, so the read about print loop, but I'm interested. I have sort of a very, because I kind of just started this last night on a whim and I haven't been working on it too much. Kind of a very basic like reader.h, just sort of here. I can actually pull up make a lisp. Sort of pull up kind of like the documentation on that. It's in the process guide, yeah. So I'm sort of on that second section down here where you're creating a reader. And what's interesting about this is that, C has static typing and Lisps don't. They're dynamically typed, and that's really kind of part of where they get their power from. What are my errors that I'm getting? Check. Is it fly check or fly check errors? It's not showing me the errors anymore. That's odd. What if I just hover it right here? No? Okay. Anyway, that's completely irrelevant. Yeah, go back to here. But yeah, I've kind of been getting back into C. What I'm really interested in, though, is one way to implement those types would be, to create kind of like a union to hold the Lisp types, and that is one method. But what I really want to try and implement is, I've been reading a lot about NAN boxing, and I've never really done NA unboxing before, but it seems like it'd be a really interesting way to implement kind of like Lisp typing within C, so I'm using this kind of as a project that will more or less allow me to do that. But yeah, that's just sort of a bit of a tangent more than anything on what I'm currently doing outside of the actual Lisp project, but I'll go into that now, since that's sort of, you know, I guess for lack of a better way to describe it, sort of the docket per se. So I've started work on the scanner. Started work on the scanner because I realized, and we can even pull up the Wayland book here. So Wayland book. So kind of at a tricky spot here where the next step, and I can pull it up here as well for reference. Where do I have this? It's in source, right? Yeah, source client.lisp. Okay, beautiful. Yeah, I can pull it up right here as well. So the issue is that there is no actual, these two functions up here are not part of the source object file for kind of like the Wayland protocol implemented via just libwayland. Well, this is part of the protocol, but this isn't part of the core that you get whenever you install like libwayland. These are spun up in the let's go over to the actual, no, not the Baptist church, what the fuck. Let's go to the actual Git repository, and I can kind of show sort of where these are. I can also just find them in, it'll probably be quicker that way actually. But yeah, I'll pull it up anyway because we are going to be looking at the protocol implementation, but these functions are actually defined in the XML here. Not that XML, that's the test XML. In the XML here, this is the correct XML. Okay. Yeah, the protocols are actually defined within the XML rather than the core Wayland protocol. So we kind of are at that point where there is no choice really going forward except to actually write the parser, which I thought I was going to be able to put off, but yeah, not going to be able to put off. But you know, we ball, as they say, we ball. It was going to happen either way, so better late than never, I guess. But yeah, I've sort of kind of been starting that on sort of the more util side, so let's hop into the Lisp and let's go over to the util. This is kind of exciting as well. The actual utilities are almost done. The FFI bindings for all of the structs and like kind of like core functions, they're complete, but now it's just sort of the process of spinning these into, you know, Lisp functions. I have these macros, which I'm sort of debating if I want them. Not the with Wayland list, wrong ones. Here, let's go down a bit further. The Wayland list for each and a Wayland list for each reverse. I've been really kind of debating these because they really are just a wrapped do list more than anything, which, if I'm being honest, just feels kind of like out of extraneous code for it. I'm keeping them though because the kind of like tricky thing about Wayland lists is they're technically not, the first item of the list is not like a part of the list, so you're really kind of analyzing like the coder of the list as the list itself. So I did end up kind of keeping them, and then here I have a kind of horrendous C macro that I don't even know if I need it within kind of like defined as its own function since we have access to the slot values up here. Let's go up to the top. Since we have access to the slot values, I did add a struct type slot value as well, and that's just kind of to access the name of the underlying FFI struct, since we do need that for some of the FFI work here. So, like a good example of this is right here, we set the struct type to struct FFI util wayland list, which is the underlying FFI code for it, and that will kind of eliminate a lot of the code needed to like plumb this value right here into other functions, because otherwise we'd be slapping this all over the place, and I really kind of want to abstract that away from the user. So yeah, it's a new slot. Everything is underneath this wayland object now that are kind of like these two core things. Probably more will come, probably as needed, but it's not needed right now, so it's not there. And then every kind of like actual struct within the wayland protocol will inherit initially from these and set those values accordingly. Again, this just sort of eliminates having to do a lot of additional code to access the struct pointer and the struct type as well. So that's a lot of this has been done, and really all this does is the wayland container of is a way to access the pointer reference to an object within a wayland struct. I don't think I need it since I have class access. Kind of to show it in action, let's just run a really quick one. Set T1 to nil. I don't know why I've been calling them T1s, but that's what I've been calling my variables in all of these tests, and then every other one is like T2. I guess type. I don't know how I came up with the T. It sort of happened. I don't. Maybe it's because it's easy. Like it's just right there in the middle of the keyboard. But let's go ahead and do a with wayland list. And then we will take that and we can describe it here. So we'll describe T1 here, and then after that, what we're going to do next is we can, and the, yeah, no, I know, now I know what I was gonna say, yeah. So what we can do next is, let's go ahead and add a new line, just kind of like to separate the output a little bit, and then let's do container of, and then sample is just the struct, and member is the thing we're accessing. So we have a next value in the struct. So, and that'll give us the pointer. And here's kind of why I don't think I need it. Let's do another terminate print really quick, and let's describe, I think this is the format. Common Lisp next is undefined. Okay, yeah, that. Oh yeah, it's because we're not in the actual library. So okay, yeah. So here's what makes me wonder if I need it or not. So we have the initial description of the struct here. Why didn't I produce the container of? Did it? Alright, that's kind of odd. Hold on. But anyway, the reason I'm saying this is we have the pointer already whenever we, let's go ahead and remove this and see kind of like what our output looks like. Yeah. So we have the pointer already here, kind of like defined as a slot, and then we can just pull it by accessing that slot, which makes me wonder if this was all, like, defining this was, it makes me wonder if defining this was pointless. Oh, it's because it didn't handle it as a return value. Yeah, there we go. Now it's a return. I forgot to format it. Oh well. happens, I guess. But yeah, what I'm basically kind of showing is we already have access, like full access to it through the slot value. I kept this around because I kind of like put a lot of effort into that function, was like one of the primary reasons, if I'm being honest. But in addition to that, it is used a lot in the kind of like spinning the Wayland protocol code. So I also wanted to keep it around just for that reason, just because I don't know if I'm going to end up needing to rely on it. But yeah, that's sort of just a quick update on the utilities. And then the scanner is a whole other can of worms, if I'm being completely honest. Let's go ahead and load these files in here. So we'll load this. And then I think the interface isn't done. If I do load that one, it's going to throw an error for the time being, at least. We can load this and that, though. And let's see, we have description, protocol, and then the reader. Reader during load. Oh, package XMLS does not exist. Oh yeah, because it's not part of the def package yet, because I haven't def packaged this. Okay, there we go. And yeah, sort of to give a basic rundown, sort of, before we start diving into this, what I'm doing is using XMLS to take sort of this jumbled, fucked up protocol. This part scares me, if I'm being honest. This part right here, absolutely fucking terrifying to think about, but I really don't think I have to think about it too much, because it's an enum, and we can just slot those values into the enum type that we're going to define, and yeah. But kind of looking at it, kind of like just bare, it's somewhat terrifying to think about. But yeah, anyway, the point is, we have this XML. I know I could, use kind of like XMLS's built-in functionality to create sort of like a, create an object for the XML, and then walk through that object to create S expressions out of it. That being said, I don't know. I feel like it obscures away too much of the stuff. I'm not kind of like able to walk through it mentally as well that way. I feel like I'm leaving things a bit more beholden to XMLS itself that way. What I've been doing is, it does have this, I've defined kind of like two different versions. Parse XML to list is the one that I ended up going with. I think there's not a parse XML in here. I guess I got rid of it. But yeah, all this does is it uses the parse to list XMLS functionality to take the XML, and then if we go into test.list, we can see sort of what this ultimately looks like. Spins it into this list, and we can just, car and cutter our way through the list and create objects for each element. This is this is kind of like the start of the protocol. I just pulled this out of the main protocol for testing primarily, but it has, everything. It has the copyright, it has the protocol name, it has an initial interface. And what we're going to end up doing is, I'm kind of going like the Wayland route, how they implemented everything kind of as objects. This sort of does conform as well to the actual like Wayland code for the scanner, which we'll be referencing a lot of throughout this, because that's what I'm doing with my life for now, I guess. Probably for too long. Fuck. Oh my god. So this is about 2,000 lines of C code that more or less takes the entire protocol and sort of like using like metaprogramming, like spins it up into the actual C code itself. If we look at it, we can kind of see that the only things that we really need to worry about in terms of the headers is it does rely on Wayland version. The DTD is just kind of like that DTD file in the like XML like section, the actual like protocol directory in the Wayland, like libwayland. So we don't really need to worry about this. What we do need to worry about though, what worries me quite a bit is, let me find it. No? Did I just imagine that? Okay, yeah, no. Okay, we have nothing to worry about then. We're worry-free, as they say. But yeah, version is a pretty basic file. It doesn't really do much except, let's see, Wayland version.h. So all this really does is, yeah, define like the Wayland version. And this will be used for the protocol as well. But yeah, let's go back into the scanner, and they sort of, we'll skip kind of all of this because this is, you know, like general like XML parsing code. We don't need to worry about that too much just yet. But yeah, they define the different parts of the protocol as structs, which is nice because those do convert pretty cleanly to objects. Of course, some of the things that they define in the structs we don't have to worry about as much in terms of creating our objects, but here, let's go ahead and open a new tab again and hop back into the protocol. The DTT file is sort of another big source because it tells us what's required and what is, you know, for lack of a better way to describe it, what is kind of like optional. So I've been working on the interface, and that's probably what I'm going to work on for most of here. And I don't have required versus optional laid out just yet. The plan sort of is to get that set up within the kind of like once the actual structs are written and I have the initial parser for creating a class written. I'm going to add some handler cases that just basically say, in the example of this interface, like, we know the name and version is required. So if these two fields are initialized, or like if the instance is initialized and these two fields remain nil, we can essentially throw an error in both of those cases. But yeah, and then this is kind of the code for it currently. The code for all the different, the code for all the different like classes is more or less the same. It's just two cons, one for the attributes of the XML, and then the other con is for the elements themselves. And these attributes and elements are, if we open one more tab and hop back into the protocol itself over here, here we are. Yeah, so the attribute section really just comes down to parsing this whole section right here, and then elements is everything contained within. And I did start, you know, I have the description. If we look back over at VDDT over here, we can see that a description will take, where are you, description? All right, we have to hunt it down first. Yeah, it takes a summary and it takes a, well, description. I don't really know what the C data question, or the C data section or PC data are all about. I'm assuming that has more to do with like DDT's layout itself rather than something specifically defined within the kind of like protocol, because I don't see anything that states that here. So we're ignoring that for right now. I'm probably going to read up on DDT some. I've never really worked with XML that much, but, you know, one step at a time, as they say, as I say, as we all say. So yeah, the description has been laid out. The actual interface itself even has been laid out. So really it's kind of like requests now. And then, do I have a request file? Nope. Should be requests, or I'll do requests since that's how it's stated here. So request.lisp. And then yeah, we will go ahead and hop into this. So and I have parse request is okay. And then let's see what the requests take. So we have description, arg, name, type, sense, deprecated sense. And looks like name and type are listed as implied, which I believe means in this case that they're not explicitly required. And we'll have a default argument if none is listed. I believe that at least. I will kind of initialize those to nil. We'll check that once we get to the actual, you know, section of that. But let's go ahead and take a look at a request. So we see that name is an element similar to, where were you? Alright, so we have a name as the element. So we will go ahead and, how do I def class again correctly? Okay. I wonder if I can have these be inherited. Hold on. Does protocol take a name and version? No, it just takes name and copyright. Description doesn't take a name. Everything else does, though. I believe. Let me... It may be too much, I don't know, it may kind of be overcomplicating things to throw inheritance in there, especially since I can just, let's hop back over here and see what we need again for the request. Alright, so we need name and type, and then description, arg, description, arg, name, type, sense, and deprecated sense. So let's go back over here. And we were doing request.lisp. Actually, I'm just going to alright. There we go, that's name, and then where's our request at? Oh, there we go. And then it takes a description. Alright, we'll take that, There we go. And then init form will be no. And then arg. Args are going to be difficult because I think there's like 8 different arg types that you can end up putting in there, but I wonder. Oh, okay. I get it. I think I get it now. So the AT list is, or at list is the attribute. Oh, fuck. Oh, God. No, it literally stands for attribute list. Okay. So those are our attributes. We seem really to only take the name, and I've noticed this in other protocols, so I think type, since, and deprecated since we don't need to worry about. I mean, it shouldn't be hard to implement those if we do end up needing to, like, later down the line. It shouldn't be hard at all to implement those, but like if you look at the XML for the attribute list, for any request, you only see the name. Honestly, I see this for, you know, everything. Yeah. The only thing that really seems to take a version is the interface. But if we go to everything else, they don't take versions. So we might be in the clear with a version. So this might be a relatively simple name, description, and arg. So let's start with that. Not arf, arg. And then arg is going to be arg. Oh. Wrong button. I yank. And then we will declaring set f arg while in package common lisp user. I misspelled description? Oh god. I guess is arg a special form? Ah, it is. So I do this just because I really don't want to hop out of the CL user package. That's going to be an... Okay, there. Request is unbound. Okay. Oh, yeah. I actually don't know how to describe raw classes. Request is undefined. You know, we'll just say it works. I mean, it's just a Lisp class. So yeah. We have our sections, and then we already have a way to parse the description. Description should be standard for how it is in all of these. So if we go over to the interface, for example, we have description and elements. And in fact, we'll go ahead and take this, and since a lot of it is going to be, unfortunately, like, repeated code, I'm sure I can macro these. I'm gonna leave that for a future attempt, or not future attempt, but I think I need to learn a bit more class before I can get like really good sort of at getting this to go the way I want it to go, in terms of, you know, pulling all the tricks, pulling all the stops, as some would say. We want to change this to request. I wonder, okay. That should get rid of that. And then for the request itself, we'll be processing a name, description, and args. So we can get rid of these. And then what does it call arg? Okay. So it's literally just arg. And then let's see, what else are we doing? Oh. Enum, okay. Okay, nice. Wait, did I spin the wrong one? Oh no, it's because I had this. No. Oh, I see. It's because, yeah, it's not implemented yet. That's why these. So we'll go ahead and fix these for right now. And just because I know if I don't do it now, I'm going to fuck myself over later. So this will actually be. So let's delete word, add interface, and then parse event, and we'll parse this as enum. Delete word, and then alright, that should be that. Let's go back to the matter at hand. Where are you? Okay, here we go. Okay, and request is not a super object. And so this should return a warning but not an error if everything is correct there. Yep. Nice. Only parse args is undefined. So let's go back to over here and let's see what we have for arg. Name type and description as the element. Name type and description. Okay. Arg.lisp, and we will define one more class. I mean, I guess they do all inherit name. Most inherit description. They all inherit description as an element. Okay. So we are starting to see a pattern. I will put that over in the reader, just kind of like as a comment, up here, not over lispify name, where do we actually enter the dungeon of, you know, existence? That means something. I don't know what it means, but it means something. Oh, it's over in the protocol, so I'll set this, I mean, I'm gonna still set this right here. Do a little to-do, and then we'll ask, should this be inherited from a superclass? Okay, and then since I am going to be working on the args now, I can finally move this over to args. So args.lisp. Wait, where are you? Args.lisp. Okay, here we go. No, not ooh. Okay. And this is kind of where it's going to start getting really tricky, is converting these argument types. I know already that it takes, you know, these 6 different types of argument. And we can even see this in the scanner. We take a new ID, we take a int unsigned, fixed string object array fd, and then if we go over to, I believe it's defined in wayland util.h near the bottom, where, there we are, yeah. So this is our wayland argument union, and if you look at these, it's gonna be a bit tricky. I think that it's going to be possible. The one that's really kind of like going to be the difficult one is the wayland fixed t, which is a fixed number type. I'm going to go ahead and create some binding, probably not binding since it is just straight up like type definition. But we start with like a uint32, and that is our wayland fixed t. But what's interesting here is it's a 24.8 signed fixed point number with a sign bit, and 23 points of integer precision, and 8 bits of decimal precision. Consider it as an opaque struct with methods that facilitate conversion to and from double and int types. This may or may not be an issue since we, you know, have kind of like integer, or like we're able to do like integer and double work in Lisp kind of naturally because of its number system. But like, let's say we have this fixed t to double. So if we take something like this, it's a divider. So let's do, you know, 32 over 256.0, and we'll get that back, and then similarly from double, it's just multiplication. I think the precision is going to be the kind of tricky part. I wonder if you can define that one increase precision. So this is kind of like more sort of thing about float precision in Lisp, or Lisp. not floor, float. Because ideally we're going to be, you know, like let's give it something wacky. Is that wacky? So that gives us right to 8. So I think 8 might actually be sort of the standard for it. We might be in the clear. Maybe. Let's do something arbitrarily large. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Not. The scientific notation isn't necessarily what we're looking for. Let's do arbitrarily small. Yeah, so we're going to have to look into, let's see, 8 bits of decimal precision and 23 bits of integer precision. Okay. Alright, perfect. So yeah, that was not the matter at hand. That is a worry about later matter. But you know, I like to worry about things before they exist, as they say. So name and value are both required. So we will do name. No. Alright, and then its successor will just be name. And then again, we'll do it in a form of nil. And that corresponds to sort of what we're doing with these others. Yeah. And then arg accessor in that form. Okay. Beautiful. And then what else is required? The value. So value and then arg value. Accessor value. I don't think value is a keyword, I think it's just values, so I should be in the clear here. And knit form, no. And then summary is implied since, oh, that's entry, fuck. Summary, interface, allow null, and enum are all implied. Are they used in practice though? They are. Okay. So we will add stuff for that. So we have name. I don't see value on here. I see type. I'm looking at entry. Fuck. Okay. Okay, fuck. We'll just go ahead and change the no, we can't do that globally. I guess I can't be lazy in this case. Fuck, I was looking at entry. Type. I know that type is a keyword, right? We may not have to worry about it. If it yells at me, I'll just change it. But yeah, name and type. And summary seem to be the name, type, summary, and then interface occasionally. I don't see descriptions used for args. Maybe in the clear with that? Maybe? I guess, you know, we shall see. But yeah, let's go down to summary. And then we have interface. And then I think that's everything there. What else? What else? Let's go back. Let's go to a kind of wordy arg. A wordy arg that sounds like something, I don't know, a pirate or whatever that says a lot or is good with word. There's a joke there somewhere. So what's cool about arguments is that it seems like we're just dealing with elements or attributes. Attributes. Yeah, we're just dealing with attributes, so we shouldn't really have to deal with like any further nesting fuckery. Nil is not a legal class name. What? What did I set as the class name nil? Hold on. Accessors, init forms. Nil is not a legal class name. Oh, I'm classic. Okay. You know, that seems about right, as they'd say. So right, type violates. So I just changed this to arg type. Okay. And we have our parser. So let's go back over to interface.list. We're only dealing with attributes here, so I'm going to just, you know, actually, no, I'm gonna have to copy this whole thing, so. But what we will do is go ahead down here to elements, and just do a delete of that. Oh, did I delete it already? I don't even think I pressed the delete button. I'm not gonna question it. That's pretty nice. That's pretty sick. Thank you to and do they only take a single arg type? Yes. Did I add the interface? Yeah, I added the interface. So we should be, you know, as they say, like in the clear here. As who says? I mean, I guess as I say. Alright, and this will be parse arg. I swear, Lispyville is sometimes a bane of my existence and sometimes, you know, just straight up amazing. Or it's parse args is what I set it as. That feels a little too... It feels a little too whack to me. I'm gonna change it over to parse arg. And we will keep this as parse arg. And what are we dealing with here again? So I don't need this right now. Let's go to arg.lisp, and let's have a just sort of top level referral. So parse arg, make instance, wayland arg, and then name arg, arg. Alright. Do all args only act on a single interface? Yes. Maybe. Oh. Oh, value. Oh wait, that's entry. That's entry. Okay. That's entry. Allow null. Okay, so we do use allow null. And just give it kind of like a bit more of a Lisp name. So I guess what does implied mean here? Probably that there's a default value. I'll need to look into the defaults, and honestly, that's probably over in the scanner C code here. Oh, go the fuck away. But this is kind of hell to read if I'm being completely, even by C standards, this is pretty wacky to read some of the sections. Look at this. We have zalloc, xzalloc, and xstring dump. Description dump. Fuck. Holy shit. I don't really understand why the interface had to be written in C, if I'm being completely honest. Or the scanner interface. Let's go to create arg. Set arg type. So that's setting the type. Is that everything for the args? Yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to go through it a bit more in depth. But we know that we need allow null, and that is just one more to add sort of to the pile here. version. Yeah, we just call it allow null, so. And then we up here call it allow null p. Let's go ahead and revalidate this. Validate's probably the wrong word. I don't really care personally. I'm just to say validate. So we know that we need summary type. So what's the last one we're going to be on the lookout for? Enum. We can just add that in. You know, it doesn't hurt. What's going to be tricky with enum, though, is we also have the enum type, or wayland enum type that we're... Oh god, come on, are you kidding me? Enums, there. Are you happy? So yeah, I guess what's going to be tricky here is, enum is also its entirely own kind of element, and the question is going to be, are we referring to a specific enum type, or are we going to be calling this? So let's see if we can find an arg with an enum declaration in here. Oh, so this is even weirder. What the fuck? Alright. So I have to look at this interface. Data offer, invalid finish, invalid action, invalid offer. Receive offer. So the interface name is data offer. If we go down to one of these enum declarations, we're looking at a data device manager. I really don't know. I really don't know. I think for the most part, we're going to just take the string and call it a day. That seems like it might be the move for the most part right now. And we will cross that bridge whenever, you know, we have to cross it. Let's move this down a level. I'm just gonna keep consistency with the actually gonna set the archetype like so. So set archetype catter I. And then let's declare a set nil or set nil or set arg nil. These would probably be better as methods. We'll redefine this as archetype set, just for it to be, you know, kind of explicitly clear that we are indeed working within the bounds of like args, similar to how parser is sort of defined in such a way, or named in such a way that I know that we're working within the bounds of the parser itself. So let's see. That's the wrong one. Okay. That's the right one. Alright, perfect. And then one error condition. Oh. We don't want to lispify the summary name. Because that would be annoying as hell to read. Which means I'm gonna have to go back and I'm gonna have to go back and change some of the other calls for that. And then lispify name, I think I showed it earlier, but just in case I didn't, really all it does is it takes this underscore and converts it into a, you know, dash, and then upcases everything, sort of to give it to the Lisp reader the way the Lisp reader would want it, kind of. I guess for lack of a better way to say it, I mean, I know it upcases everything automatically, but this also, you know, like replaces that with a dash to keep things lispy. We like to keep it lispy around here. Oh yeah, we can just shadow this. Yeah, I guess we're not using elements. I believe events are going to have a very similar layout to requests. Yeah. It's the exact same thing. Which makes sense because the requests are just client-side versions of event code, and vice versa. Events are just server-side applications of the request code. So honestly, I may or may not regret this, but we're going to see. So it doesn't look like we're affecting anything major. Yeah, we're good. Alright, beautiful. So no warnings. And now let's go back to our interfaces. I think the only other catch with requests and events is we're going to have multiple and a single interface. So a single interface can take multiple requests and events. So that's interfaces. Let's go to protocol.lisp and that's how we did it there. I can also, I think, take multiple enums. So string equals parse I, or no, append list parse I, interferent, or interface. Not all the way down there. Okay, that's not too bad. Unimplemented. So request enums and events. Alright. Parse enum and then enum interface and a request interface. This really could be macroed away. Maybe I'll kind of do that at some point, like as a little in between. I really want to keep it a bit more on this verbose side for the time being, though, simply so I can sort of deal with any fuckery that occurs relatively easy. And I mean, if I'm being honest with the parser, with a lot of it, I'm ready for it to be ready, I guess. Do we also accept entries? Alright. So events can take an arg or a description. What takes an entry? Enum takes an entry. Okay. So let's see if we can find us a good enum to look at. Okay, there we go. And, you know, looks like it only takes a name. Sense and bit field are implied, but do we actually have any bit field values? Let's save this really quick and go into the include for oh wait, no, we need the XML. Oops. Is that in the share? So we take sense and bit field. Which makes me wonder if we take deprecated. It doesn't look like it. But we'll probably want to add sense to some of these. Yeah, I'm not seeing deprecated in any of these values. Events can take sense. So we'll be able to add sense pretty easily. I'll just go through and do a wipe up of everything and add that in. But that's good to know that we actually do need that. So to go back, enums, the final type as they say, which takes name, accessible by name, and then the init form is, of course, nil. Okay, we're gonna save this one and go pop it into a bunch of spots in a bit here. Def bit field. Well, that's pretty cool. Might be able to find a use for that someday. Today's not that day, but I swear, the more... This is such a fucking rabbit hole. Oops. Not descriptio. Description. any form. And since we're here, I think entry might be able to just be defined in the same section as enums. So sense is in fact an element. Yeah, I think args are were a bit more difficult, but with enums, since the entry only really takes a handful of fields, name value summary sense deprecated sense. I didn't see a single deprecated sense used. I can always go back and add that later, so. Name sense, we'll go ahead and change the we'll make this one summary. Description is there still. Well, it's not really. It's optionally there. Maybe keep it. It doesn't hurt to keep it. So, description, name, entry will become value. And I think that should be all of them. So we don't actually have version here. Oh, wrong direction. Name since bit field, okay. Description and entry are the elements. And the last thing should be parse entry. So we already declare this. Yeah. Wait, that was the right one. Yeah, entry. And entries only take a description. Yeah. Kind of complex, complex isn't the right word, but kind of a wordy type, all things considered. Oh. I didn't follow my own type specification. And then again, for summary, we just want to return cat or I. I really don't want to lispify something that doesn't need it, I guess. So look at, we're only calling make instance once. So this should complete the parser. Not complete the parser, complete. Oh, oops. Okay, beautiful. And then just in case I didn't already define these. Beautiful, beautiful. Wow, no warnings. Okay. So I think the last thing I really want to do on this, is, you know, I'm going to, I guess, yeah, really all that's left is we're going to, what else takes sense? Does everything take sense? Oh, I really kind of shot myself in the foot there. We're gonna load this entire file just in case. So we're in enum. Description doesn't take sense, right? Yeah. So description, protocol, and interface don't take sense. So just request events, enums, and entries. Args don't make sense. That's interesting. So let's go over the request. Do we have since in here already? And then the request only take one argument. That's another $1 million question, as they say. No, they do not. So we're going to have to change that as well to a, I guess like could or less. Oh, that's entry where there's sense. Okay. since request. Oops. Request event entry. Elam. I'm missing type. It's name type sense. Oh, I only added arg to type. There seems to be a different kind of parsing for type than it is for args, though. I felt like this was too short. This is kind of like the critical piece of it all. Oops. Only one warning, nice. Okay, it's getting close to time to wrap up anyway. I think a decent chunk of progress has been made. That being said, since, you know, since it's all kind of come together now, let's hop into the reader really quick, and we'll keep this here. No, we're gonna close this. We're gonna full screen this shit really quick, and we are going to split. No, the wrong split. Fuck. We're going to v-split. And let's see if we can string this all together. String all of this together. Oh, oops. I didn't mean to do that binding. So this is kind of our raw list. And I mean, it's just a single protocol and everything. And that's the value of X, so let's hop in the protocol over here. And my bad. I wonder how many of those I did that with. Let's check events, because I'm pretty sure I did it with that as well. Yep. Okay. So we have a protocol. And let's see what we can validate kind of based on this. So let's go into the little, oh, don't pop up there. So we can see that its name is indeed Wayland, and that it is a Wayland protocol type. It has a copyright, that seems to check out. I wonder if I can just let's see if we can do list this. So do list, right? And then, yeah. Oh yeah, I only have a single interface because this is not the full protocol. It's the interface that should have multiple interlinking parts. Which if we click that, so we see that we have the name, we have its version number, census set to nil, as we do want. We have fucking events, we have requests, we have a fucking enum, holy shit. Holy shit. Holy shit. Oh, it fucking works. Holy shit. Holy fucking shit. Oh my god. Oh my god. No fucking way. No fucking way. we have the swap value here, actually. I guess accessing kind of that nested. I mean, what I could do is I have to start getting ready for bed soon, but I got too fucking hyped. This to-do list would be a little too complex. Let's just... We've already defined the car interface, so let's just set up interface to car interface, just for easy accessibility. And let's go up to this original do list and let's just replace some of the things. Let's move some of the things around. Where was the original? Here we go. the request list looks rather, you know, large, so let's actually do this with request really quick. And I don't really need these. I'm gonna close them out so I can minimize again. Okay. Request is undefined. What did I put as the accessor? Oh. Yeah, that seems about right. I'll make sure to go ahead and change that in the final code. Yo, okay, fuck. It fucking works. It fucking works. Let's compare this to the actual display. So we have two requests, okay? We have the name. We've got the name. Fuck. Name. Fucking name. Alright, last one. Just so that we can actually see it in the Explorer. So there's our fucking description. Oh, that's rather funny. And let's look at args. So we have a single wayland arg. And this is for the first request, which we have it set to nil for allow nil p. Checks out. Archetype is a uint32. That checks out with the new ID, I believe. I'm not gonna find that. I can find it here. Yep, uint32. It has as its interface the this is the registry one. Oh, I think because we were appending, so they're going in backwards. Okay. I guess that makes sense. Maybe. Perhaps on some level. I don't know. It makes sense in my heart, is how I describe it, I guess. Yeah, no, because we're appending to the front, I think. So, we have get registry. That is the name of the argument here. It's uint32, and we have the global registry object as that. Okay. Beautiful. Let's hop back over to Sly. Last thing I think I want to look at is this error event, because it seems rather, you know, rather, I guess, verbose. Not verbose. Rather many objects in it. Both of these events. Oh wait, that's an enum. So we're gonna kind of play Russian roulette here and hope. I think it should be this one. Error should be this one. Yep. And we have a description class for that description, and then we also have the args list. And we have 3. Let's just take a look at one of these. So this is the error code arg, code uint32. Fuck. It fucking works. Holy shit, it fucking works. It fucking works. You know what? You know what this calls for? You know what this calls for? We get our first official X. No, wait. We get 2 official X's. Fuck. Fuck yeah. Okay. The problem is, though, we now have a subsequent item. I think we now have many subsequent items, but I'm going to add one, which is, I feel like I've developed a firm grasp of CFFI at this point. It's the least of my worries. XML to S expression, we are doing that. Lower level C-libs to Lisp figure outing. This one's about 75% done. I don't think we're gonna need to link XKB common right now. That would sort of be needed at some other point. But I don't quite know when. Reference, I think we've referred everything that we can out of Wayland. It's kind of, we're in the depths now. We're kind of within a new zone of newness, of needing, you know, the way forward is going to be much more complex, because now it's going to kind of be like straight up a Lisp code. Fuck. Yeah. Okay. So we have that. Let's go ahead and update the README really quick. Change this to a whopping 75%. And fuck yeah. Okay. I don't know. I mean, honestly, that's kind of it. I guess now I'm going to play some, what is it? What's it called? Embodiment? Have I been playing Embodiment of Scarlet Devil, or have I been playing the other one? Perfect Cherry Blossom is what I've been playing. Yeah, I'll probably play some more Perfect Cherry Blossom. I don't know. I'm hyped as hell right now because this works. I really kind of wanted to keep this as a strictly coding channel. I'll do, fuck it. I'll do like a little round. Do I still have my game setup thing? Maybe. Maybe. Yes. Yes. I think so. Is this the game one? Yeah, I'm gonna fuck it. If it loads, that is, I guess. That would be, you know, the deciding factor. Oh. let's go back. How do I redefine? Yeah, you know what? Let's keep it as that. Okay, yeah, that was a little around. I guess that is it for now. I guess until next time, as they say. Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully, probably Sunday going to go on a little bit longer. Going to, in the midst of it all, get a bit more work on this done, but I mean, honestly, fucking honestly, I'm just so fucking happy that it works. Oh god, I was dreading so much of this part, but being able to define the classes is going to make a lot of it flow together a lot more seamlessly. But yeah, that's a whole lot of additional yapping whenever I was supposed to be finished about 40-ish minutes ago. So farewell to all, and to all a good night or a good morning. I don't know. I need like a non-time of day kind of thing. Like, fuck. I could go like the full nerd route and be like live long in Lambda. That would be funny. Yeah. I don't know. Live long in Lambda.